Hey, hey, hey! What happened on Saturday wasn't luck, it was a plan cooked up months ago that blew up right when we needed it most, but while everyone's out here celebrating. There are two bombs nobody's talking about, a rookie who just shattered historic records and has half of Chicago eating their words, and an injury crisis that could kill our dream before it even takes off. We lost key pieces. We've got holes in critical spots, and now the real grind begins. Can we survive this? Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and stick around to the end because what's coming next is urgent. Look, I'm gonna be real with y'all. When I saw Ben Johnson showing our Bears clips of Super Bowl 51 during training camp, I thought, this dude is out of his mind. Showing the Patriots come back against the Falcons, for real. But now, after what we saw Saturday against Green Bay, let me tell you something. Ben Johnson is a genius. Down 21-3 against the Packers. 21-3 at Soldier Field in the playoffs, and you know what our Bears did? Exactly what the Patriots did in Houston 8 years ago. They came back and won 31-27. And it wasn't luck, folks, it was preparation. Johnson said it after the game. That was my message to the group, reminding them this has been done before. Instead of woe is me and damn, we're in a hole. It was more like this is a huge opportunity to turn this into a game we'll never forget, and that's exactly what they did. I think that's brilliant. Why? Because this wasn't some cookie-cutter motivational speech. This was mental prep months before the moment came. Johnson knew at some point this team would be backed into a corner, and when that moment hit, our guys had already seen how to handle it. And here's the wildest part. We've got Joe Thuney on our O-line, who won that Super Bowl with the Patriots. And we've got Grady Jarrett on our D-line, who lost that Super Bowl with the Falcons. Johnson used both of them to give the team perspective. You get how smart that is. Let me ask you, how many coaches in the NFL have that kind of vision? I'm telling you, Ben Johnson didn't come to Chicago to do things the old way. He came to change the culture, and that's exactly what we needed after years of mediocrity. Years of watching this team fold when things got tough. Now let's talk about Matt LaFleur for a second. Because here's the brutal irony. LaFleur was on the Falcons sideline as the QB coach. During that Super Bowl 51 collapse, he watched his team blow a 28-3 lead. And on Saturday, he relived that nightmare, this time from the other side. It's very humbling, LaFleur said after the game. I'm disappointed for everyone associated with the Green Bay Packers. Humbling. That's the word he used. And you know what? I don't feel a single ounce of sympathy. For him, this is Chicago versus Green Bay. This is war. The Packers now have back-to-back first-round playoff exits. Meanwhile, we're one win away from the NFC Championship game for the first time since 2010. Do you realize what that means? I think Johnson is building something special here. It's not just about X's and O's. It's about mindset. It's about believing nitrogen monoxide deficit is too big. It's about having the confidence to execute when everything's on the line. And let me ask you this. When was the last time we saw the Bears with this kind of mentality? Under Matt Nagy, John Fox, Mark Trestman? Please, this is different. Johnson took the lessons from the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history and planted them in his players' minds months before they needed them, and when the moment came down. 21-3 in the third quarter, this team didn't blink. They executed. Caleb Williams ran that huddle like a 10-year vet. The defense adjusted and started bringing heat. The coaches made the right calls. And it all happened because Johnson had this team ready for this exact moment. I'm telling you right now, if the Bears make it to the Super Bowl this year, and I'm not saying they will, but I'm also not saying they won't, this game against Green Bay will be the turning point. This was the game where Chicago proved it's different. That this isn't the same franchise that's let us down for decades. And you know what's even crazier? Johnson's already locked in on the next game. He's already prepping this team for the divisional round, because that's what great coaches do. They don't sit around celebrating wins. They get ready for the next battle. Now let's talk about Colston Loveland, and when I say talk, I mean we need to have a real conversation about this kid. 8 catches, 137 yards, a clutch 2-point conversion, 15 targets in his first playoff game. At 22 years old, let me ask you this. Do you know how many tight ends in NFL history have had 10 or more targets and 130 or more yards in a playoff game at 22? Or younger? 2. Colston Loveland and Rob Gronkowski. That's it. When the Bears took Loveland with the 10th overall pick in the 2025 draft, half of Chicago lost it. Why a tight end that high? Why not an offensive tackle? Why not a pass rusher? I heard all the complaints. And you know what? I got it. Taking a tight end in the top 10 is a big swing. But Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles saw something in Loveland the rest of us didn't. They saw a game changer. Caleb Williams said it best after the game. We hit a home run with him. Everyone keeps asking why we take Colston Loveland. Why'd we do this? Why'd we do that? It's Colston Loveland, you know? What I mean, that's who he is, and I'm telling you Williams is right. Loveland isn't just a tight end. He's a weapon. He's the kind of player defensive coordinators have to game plan around. And if they don't, he's gonna torch them. Now I'm not gonna lie, Loveland had a slow start to the season. There were games where he looked lost. His roots were off. He had some drops. People started doubting. Maybe he's not that guy. Maybe it was a reach. But here's what folks didn't see: the work. Ben Johnson broke it down after the game. It took a little time to build that trust with him. A bit of a slower start early in the year. And then it just clicked. And then Johnson said something that made me realize why this kid is gonna be special. He's one of the first guys in the building every day. Always studying his playbook while eating breakfast. Always the last one off the practice field working the jugs machine. He's been the model of consistency, which for a rookie says a lot. Did you catch that? The model of consistency as a rookie in the NFL. Where 90% of rookies are just trying to survive, Loveland isn't just surviving. He's dominating, and he's doing it the right way, with hard work, with dedication, with the kind of work ethic that builds careers, not just seasons. His teammates already gave him a nickname, Third Dan Colston. You know what that means? It means when it's third down and we need yards, Caleb's looking for Loveland. And Loveland delivers. I think we're witnessing the birth of a star. I'm not talking about a solid player. I'm talking all-pro. I'm talking about a guy who's gonna redefine the tight end position in this league. The Gronk comparison isn't hype. Gronk changed how teams use tight ends. He was a dominant blocker and an elite receiver. Loveland has that same potential. At 22, he's already showing he can do both at a high level. And here's what's got me most hyped. Johnson said Loveland is just scratching the surface of what he's gonna become. Just scratching the surface. This kid just dropped 137 yards in the playoffs, and his coach says he's got way more in the tank. Do you understand how scary that is for the rest of the NFC? Because I do. We've got a 22-year-old tight end already playing at an elite level with years of growth. Ahead. The Packers couldn't cover him. The Vikings won't be able to. The Lions won't either, because Loveland isn't just big and athletic. He's smart. He studies. He works. He prepares like a 10-year vet. And let me ask you this. When was the last time the Bears had a tight end like this? Martellus Bennett, Greg Olsen before we let him walk. You've got to go decades back to find a tight end who made this kind of impact in Chicago. Ryan Poles staked his rep on this pick. Ben Johnson built his offense around this player, and Loveland is proving they were BOTH right. I'm telling you, if Loveland keeps this up, if he keeps grinding like he is, if he keeps improving every week, we're looking at a future Hall of Famer, and I'm not exaggerating. The numbers don't lie. The Gronk comparison isn't random. Chicago's got something special in Colston Loveland, and the best part, he's just getting started. And now we get to the part that's got me worried, because yeah, we won, yeah. We're moving on in the playoffs, but the cost of that win was TJ Edwards, broken fibula, done for the playoffs. Ozzy Trapilo, torn patellar tendon, done for the playoffs. Surgery needed, 6-month recovery. Let me ask you, how are we supposed to win a championship when we're losing KEY pieces every week? Let's start with TJ Edwards. This guy's an Illinois native, grew up a Bears fan, signed with us in March 2023 because he wanted to be here. It wasn't about the money. His first deal paid him under $7 million a year. It was about what this team meant to him. And in April, we gave him an extension through 2027 worth $10 million a year. Why? Because Edwards is the heart of our defense. This guy hadn't missed a single game in the last 3 seasons until now. 67 tackles this year, 8 pick 6, a 72.0 PFF grade ranked 25th out of 87 qualified players. And now he's out. DeMarco Jackson's gonna have to step up. And don't get me wrong, Jackson's solid, but he's not TJ Edwards. Nobody on our roster is. And here's what makes this even worse. We're already thin at linebacker. Noah Sewell's been on IR since the end of the regular season. Amen. Ogbongbemiga missed the wild card game with a concussion. So what do we have? We're heading into the divisional round with a beat-up linebacker room. Against teams with explosive offenses, you see the problem. This is critical. Bears defense has been our identity for decades. Monsters of the Midway. Dick Butkus, Mike Singletary, Brian Urlacher, that's our tradition. And now we're going into the playoffs without one of our best defenders, but wait, it gets worse. Ozzie Trapilo, a second-round rookie who earned his first start in Week 11, replacing Theo Benedette, who had replaced Braxton Jones earlier. Trapilo played well down the stretch, protected Caleb's blind side, gave our offense time to work, and now he's out with a torn patellar tendon surgery, 6 months out. Benedette had to step in against the Packers when Trapilo went down, and you know what? He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't good either, and now we've got to decide, do we roll with Benedette or bring back Braxton Jones, who was put on IR after getting benched? Jones was designated to return last week before he got benched. He had started all 40 games he played in, but he got benched for a reason. His play dropped off. He was drawing flags, giving up pressure dots, so what do? Go back to a guy we benched? Or trust Benedette, who already showed he couldn't hold the job? I'm telling you, this is a nitrogen monoxide win situation. There are no good options, just less bad ones. And here's what really scares me. The O-line is everything in the playoffs. If you can't protect your QB, you can't win, period. And now we're heading into the divisional round with a massive question mark at left tackle. The Packers got pressure on us Saturday. They hit Caleb. He had to scramble a bunch, and that was WITH Trapilo in the game. What's gonna happen when we face a team with an even nastier pass rush? Let's be real, if we face the Lions in the divisional round, Aidan Hutchinson is gonna live in our backfield if we don't have a solid left tackle. If it's the 49ers, Nick Bosa's gonna do the same. I think Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles have a tough call to make. Do they trust Benedette, bring back Jones and hope he learned from getting benched, or make a bold move and try someone totally new and on defense? How do we make up for losing Edwards? Do we change the scheme? Run more nickel and dime to hide our backup linebackers, or trust Jackson to step up? These are the questions that'll decide if this playoff run keeps going or ends fast. Because here's the truth. In the playoffs, depth matters. The teams that win it all aren't just the ones with the biggest stars. They're the ones that survive injuries, that have the next man up ready to go. Do the Bears have that? I want to believe they do. I want to believe Johnson can tweak the game plan, that Poles has guys on this roster ready to step up, that this defense can hold up without Edwards, but I'm also a realist. And the reality is we just lost to starters at critical spots right when we needed them most. The Packers are out in the first round again. We're moving on, but at what cost? How many more pieces can we afford to lose before this team falls apart? Let me ask you this, can the Bears win a championship with these injuries? Or did we just watch our window slam shut before it even opened? Look, I know this is a lot to take in. Ben Johnson prepping this team with Super Bowl comeback film, Colston Loveland emerging as a generational star, and brutal injuries that could change everything. So let me ask you this, after seeing Johnson use the Patriots' comeback as mental prep, do you think this team has the mindset to win it all? Or was that just a one-time spark that can't be repeated? And about Loveland, are you sold now that the 10th pick was the right call? Or do you still think we should have gone a different direction in the draft? And the biggest question, with Edwards and Trapilo out, can the Bears really win a Super Bowl? Or are these injuries just too much to overcome? I want to hear what you think in the comments. Because this is OUR community, this is OUR Bears family, and we need to have these TOUGH conversations. If you believe the Bears are gonna win the NFC Championship game, drop a comment that says Bear down. If you think the injuries are too much, tell me why. And listen, if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, what are you waiting for? Tomorrow we've got more breaking Bears news. We're covering every move this team makes on the road to the championship. This is the moment we've been waiting for years, decades, even. The Bears are TWO wins away from the Super Bowl, and you do not want to miss what's coming. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, share this video with every Bears fan you know. Because this is bigger than a game. This is about Chicago. This is about our city. This is about proving the Bears are back. See you in the next video, family. And remember, bear down, Chicago. This is OUR season.